Nate, good morning and welcome back.
Morning.
Wonderful Thursday morning here. We are excited to learn a little bit more about the Scoreboard app today. And one of the things that we'd like to showcase or have you showcase is a scenario where Jamie and I are now leaders or coaches, if you will, and you are going to show us how to use the app to improve our fundraising. So
Great.
what I'd like to do this morning is hand the controls over to you so you can walk us through the app and teach us a little bit more about Scoreboard.
Great. All right, I'm going to share my screen here and try to bring up my phone so I can show that. I'm going to start here. So I'm joined to multiple campaigns because I'm a fundraising representative and these are the groups I'm working with. But if you're a coach or a leader in the app, on the app, running a group of kids, you would have, just your campaign would show. So we're going to look at EPHS football. That's Elmwood Park High School. This is an actual campaign that closed on the 31st of August. This first tab, the Scoreboard tab where we got our name, is all about keeping the participants and leaders informed of what's going on in their fundraiser. This is a coach view or a leader view. You can see the button at the bottom right that says coach. So the leader view has oversight functionality and the ability to see what's going on in the sale at all times. If this were an athlete or participant view, that blue coach button would say sell, because that's what we want kids doing. So it focuses their efforts there. All of our fundraisers are digital. Funds come in via debit card or credit card and then are dispersed at the end. So the ability for the kids to share it out to anyone nationwide where we can ship a product and get it to them, that's how it's going to work. So this is the Scoreboard tab. The speedometer is geared towards the athlete or participant of selling their predetermined amount of units, what we call our fair share amount. A lot of fundraisers, that's 20, 25, 30 units per participant, depending on what they're selling and the profit involved there. This is actually a cookie dough sale, so I'll be showing you that. But the speedometer for a coach view is geared towards that team selling all their units. So this team, the goal for each athlete was 25 units, and you divide, 300. So this team has 12 kids on it. The goal was 300, and they got to 106 of those units. That's why it looks, with the red down arrow there. But if this were athlete or participant view, it would just be gearing them towards selling their 25 units. The red down arrow is a daily pace indicator. Okay. So if this student was on pace, if they have 10 days to sell 25 units, they're selling 2.5 units a day. So if they sell 3 units the first day, they're going to have a green check mark. If they sell 5 or 6, they'd have a green up arrow. That means I'm ahead of daily pace or I'm on daily pace. If a kid falls behind daily pace, it'll show the red down arrow. Below this is the full program unit total goal. So their goal was to sell 800 units and they got to 738. That is pretty solid. Okay, then below that is the team leaderboard. This shows the different team leaders there and how they did. It adjusts to average units sold per participant. So Team French with 4 participants averaged 29.25 units. They were the top team. Below that is the individual leaderboard. Ethan Jimenez sold 65 units, Nate later 58, so on and so forth. So this shows that. So the Scoreboard tab is meant to just keep everybody in a real quick glance apprised of where they stand. If a participant would want to sell, coaches have the same sales functionality as kids do. So if I hit my coach button, that top one is sell. So I would hit sell, and now any way I can share on my phone comes up, and I can share this out to anyone in the country and send a link to them. I can send it via text message. I can send it via email. I've already gotten my link. There it is. How it comes across is like this. Please support me in my program by making a purchase today. And then the link to go into the fundraiser and make a purchase. If I click on that link there, up comes my profile page. There's a brief paragraph saying what we're raising money for and what it would mean for you to help. And then below that are our items. As you can see, these are just cookie dough items. So if I wanted to do a candy cookie and an oatmeal raisin, I would do that, put that in my cart and check out. There are my items. If there's any process or handling or tax, they're there. And then I would go in here and fill out my information, so on and so forth, until I'm done with that. Okay, so that's how a link is shared to the storefront for kids to make sales. And again, all of our sales are nationwide, shipped to home, everything done virtual, and all money coming in via card, a debit card or credit card. So that allows us to disperse those funds at the end of the sale. Next tab over is our share tab. This is where kids can share out their fundraiser. The beautiful thing that we've added recently is a QR code. So if a participant wanted to share their storefront with someone that they're talking to face, all they have to do is bring up their share tab, and that person, whether it's an aunt, uncle, grandma, grandpa, mom, dad, cousin, next door neighbor, they're able to just hold their phone over the QR code with their camera open, and it would then direct them directly to the athlete storefront for them to make a purchase. So if I hit the share tab here and go down and I want to share my storefront link, kids can view their storefront if they like, and they see what it looks like, so they know what they're sending out, just like what I showed you.
Mm-hmm.
But if I go back and I want to share my storefront link, I can share my phone, Facebook, Twitter, Google, anything that supports links, we can do that. LinkedIn, whatever it is, the athlete can send that out. We also ask them to text their storefront link to their mom and dad and have them post and tag family and friends on Facebook. It's a real good way of having that take advantage of the network effect and grow. And then when people make a purchase, again, they're encouraged to share that participant's storefront link out. So this is really where the selling takes place by the athlete. We're going to be updating the app soon again to have the participants be able to upload a list of emails that will then go into a drip campaign for the duration of the fundraiser. So this is a super important tab where everything takes place as far as sharing that out. Text, social media, email, face-to-face with the QR code, so on and so forth. The real important tab to a lot of athletes, if a group chooses to do prizes, is the checkpoints and prizes tab. We always do checkpoints throughout a fundraiser just to give the program time to stop and talk about the fundraiser for a few minutes and make sure that everybody's staying, on that daily pace, like I showed on the scoreboard tab here. If you go to the checkpoints and prizes tab, some groups do prizes, some don't, but there's a way to put those in there. One of the prizes here was a wings feast at Wingstop. So the kids, if they sold 20 by a certain date, are going to earn that. Further down, if they wanted to qualify for the fan jacket, which is a real nice looking apparel piece that the coach put together, then they would have to sell 30 units and they earn that. And the nice thing about if a group chooses to do prizes to incentivize their participants, if they're in the system, all those prizes are claimed once the participant earns them. So if a size is required or color or, whatever it is, those are all done digitally. And at the end of the fundraiser, a prize report is generated to make that for easy ordering. Next tab over is the boring tab, but it shows the sales summary of the athlete, what's going on with that. And it also, the blue bar at the top, download report PDF. This would show any sales that the participant made. It's basically just a digital order form that's created as sales come in by people making purchases from the participant. And then lastly, the more tab, that's just if you wanted to edit your profile and photo. We do encourage all participants to upload a photo when they're joining the fundraiser, if they wanted to edit their goal as well, team or anything like that. So, but talking about the photo a little bit, we do encourage participants to upload a photo so that when they send their storefront link, that would show here where the Scoreboard logo is. That's where the kid's picture would be. And so when, otherwise it's a gray computer silhouette. And so when grandma opens your donation page, she'd much rather see your smiling face or an action shot of you playing your sport than, just a blank gray silhouette. So we do encourage that. And to be sure, the storefront link and people being able to view that, it only goes out to people that the participant themselves contacts digitally. It's safe and secure and goes nowhere else. So that is kind of a summary very quickly of the Scoreboard app. You've got the Scoreboard tab, where you're at, how you're doing, stay in the green, keep that green check mark or green up arrow. Share, this is where you're going to make all your sales from, face to face or digitally, the way we've discussed, checkpoints and prizes. Important dates are always going to be part of a fundraiser, and then prizes if the group chooses. And then of course, just your sales data as you progress through the app. So that's really, a very brief, short overview of how the app works. But I think it shows a relatively good view of how we do things.
I really like the ease of use. I do like the ability to share to your audience and get that out. I know the biggest challenge I had when I was doing fundraisers when I was in school was the old traditional door-to-door method. It was still well received, but to me, getting the message to the masses as quickly as possible will, improve your percentage of success. So, you've made this very simple and easy to follow. One question I did have on the drip formula or the drip campaign that you're doing, is there a certain message flow that you use or you set up so that if somebody has shown interest, is there a certain, I guess, a timing of messaging that you have worked out or orchestrated that does the best for these teams?
It's a great question. And so this is also the way we do our donation fundraisers. I can show you a quick one of those. I do have some live working. Here's a volleyball team, Hinsdale Central. They're doing very, very well. So it's all geared, and it shows it here. It's all geared towards the final date. You can see that 9/9/21. That's when their campaign wraps up. Okay. This is strictly an email drip campaign with the added bonus of the kids being able to share via text and social media. So at the beginning of the fundraiser, and part of the coach's oversight function is the ability to see how many contacts the kids have uploaded. Okay, so this is the team that I'm joined to. This is varsity, and they're at 82% of potential capacity of emails in the system. Now that they've been launched, so they've all been sent out. But what the participants do when they join the campaign is they have the ability, and this is exactly how it will work with our product fundraisers. But if I hit my coach button and hit my contacts, now I could add a contact, right? So I can add my contact in here at anyway, to a good valid email address.
Mhm.
And I would add that. Now that wasn't a valid email address and it went somewhere we don't know, but they
Sure.
preload their 20 contacts and you stage those emails in the app, right? Until you get to a 75, 80, 90, 100% capacity on the team, as I showed here. We then perform a text and social media launch with the team. And this is where we send a text to mom and dad, please post and tag on Facebook. We send text messages out to any adults that we have in our phone contacts that we don't already have preloaded an email for. So what that does, and this is very important with any fundraiser, is it gets the fundraiser started off pretty quickly. Donations, once we do our text and social media launch, donations come in and purchases for the product fundraisers really immediately. People are always want to be the first to go in and buy something or make a donation. So by the time you're done with that, which is a 10 to 15 minute exercise at best, sales are showing up already. Then when the teams are at, when we decide they're at enough capacity of emails to launch those, we just go in here with our coach button and hit our launch emails. And at the bottom, it says emails have been launched to all teams. So your question was about what is the timing on those emails? We encourage this kind of sale to run, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, it depends, but it's all geared towards the end date of the fundraiser. So once the initial emails are launched, if there's 2 weeks left in the fundraiser, an email will go out to all people who have not made a purchase or made a donation, right? Those people that have made a purchase or made a donation, they get a thank you and their receipt, and they don't see any of the follow-on emails. Very important, because you don't want to, spam or hound those people in any way, because they've done their part. But if there's 2 weeks left, an email will go out that said there's 2 weeks left in our fundraiser, please support us. And then 1 week left, 3 days left, 1 day left. So the email drip campaign, or if it's a text and call geared fundraiser, then the kids can text that out to people who haven't made a purchase, give them a call, things like that. But it really does a lot of the heavy lifting of the follow through to potential supporters. So 2 weeks left, 1 week left, 3 days left, 1 day left. That is the template of our email drip campaigns.
This has been tremendous information today, Nate. Thanks for sharing this with us. I think this is a incredible app. I see huge potential with it. Obviously, at the end of this video, we will have your contact information for those that are interested, but anything else that you'd like to share today that we haven't covered?
Did we want to talk about some of the leader functionality and some of the oversight features that a coach might have in the fundraisers?
I think that would be good. Yeah.
So I'm going to touch on that just very briefly. Going back to my football campaign with Elmwood Park High School. So my button, as we've already discussed, is the coach button. As we've already discussed, coaches can sell, share, and we encourage leaders to be part of the campaign and lead by example. And those that choose to do that always do very well. The response to a coach or band leader or Boy Scout troop leader, they all do really well if they participate in their fundraisers as well. But as you can see, there's some coach tools. Coach report, that's going to be a very simple listing and showing of how the kids on the team that you're part of, or the segment of your program that you're overseeing, how they did, right? So here's the varsity team, pretty good results. Few goose eggs at the bottom. Too bad that happens, but it does. And the other thing, if you are a leader on the app, you have the ability to look at the other teams. So if somebody's not there one day, you can fill in for them and double check. for that. So that's just a simple coach report. Once the sale begins, how the kids are doing. Assigned units participants won't be used in this form of sale, so we don't worry about that one. Verify sales. This you can go in and take a look and see where the breakdown of money is for an athlete or a participant. Here's coach Matt. There, coach sold 13 units.
That's nice.
And if you were to, you can close them out, right? If you know that those are all complete and everything's been counted and verified, those are done. So you can see different aspects in there. If there are any athletes that aren't on a team, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 are the same. 2 kids that didn't get on the team, I could go in here and assign them to a team. Okay, so that's if those kids, when they registered, didn't join a team and we want to get them on the right team. And then a huge feature in the app that a lot of our coaches and leaders use is to send a text message through the app, right? Just something brief and motivational. We're almost done. Finish strong. Everyone sell 5 more units, so on and so forth. And once you're done, you send that out. And so any of the teams that you chose, you can send that to one team, a smattering of teams, or everyone using the text function. And so that goes out to everyone registered for that program. So coaches will see it, kids will see it if they're part of one of the teams selected to receive that text message. So that's a very helpful feature for team communication. Some of our leaders use it to say, hey, band practice got pushed back, an hour, or, we're going to meet in the field house instead of the main gym, or whatever the case may be. So it not only is used to send short motivational text messages about the fundraiser, but can be used as long as the fundraiser's live and leaders want to communicate with participants. So that's some of the oversight functions. And then lastly, there's a number of reports that the coach or leader can view down there. We have the TLAS, team leader accounting sheet report. It's just a team leader report. Tally sheet, that is the whole program, shows how everybody's done, what they've sold. Prize tally sheet, anybody who qualified for prizes then are on that. And then open participants. If participant sales have not been closed out by the leader, that would be a list of kids shown there. So a lot of functionality right in the app for leaders to really stay on top of their fundraiser.
It's more functionality I've seen with a lot of apps when it comes to managing these campaigns. So
yeah.
Well done. Nice app, nice tool. Anything else that we haven't covered that you'd like to share today? I think this has been great. Obviously we'll share this out to our audience, but I'm very impressed with this. Have you had, I know that you've been doing fundraising for a while, and in the past you've had a lot of people doing things traditionally. How many of those that you do a lot of with returning schools and people that come to you for fundraising? Of the people that have done traditional, how many of those people have you seen move to the app from traditional methods?
So many, especially with COVID going on over the course of the last year and a half. The adoption of technology in fundraising has been fast and furious. So because it's becoming very normal, it's still new, right? It was always pencil and paper and collecting checks and cash. But we're seeing that, the transparency that comes with doing it the way we're doing it, the ability to monitor it's not going back. It's only going to accelerate. So the adoption has been great. And even running a good old-fashioned traditional fundraiser where the kids do, sell to neighbors and things like that, we can accept different forms of payment, though with everybody getting more comfortable with functioning in the virtual world, doing it this way is being adopted widely. And once they complete a fundraiser, like, man, that was easy. So it's doing well and only going to get better.
Great. Well, as always, thanks for your time again today. This has been great information. Jamie, any questions you have before we leave today?
The only question I had that I thought of was, once the fundraiser is over with, where do the gifts and the prizes, where are they shipped to?
So with those are program initiated. So if you're talking about a sports team, every single coach in the country has a number of apparel and equipment vendors, right? So the app generates the report, and then the coach does the fulfillment with their traditional apparel people. And most band leaders, again, they do shirts for their kids and they do other things for the kids. So we just consult with the group on what they want to do for prizes, set it up in the app, or allow them to. They can do it, we can do it for them. And then those things are ordered by them and they're shipped right to the school or to the site where those are going to be distributed. So it's really quite simple. The toughest thing about doing prizes, and they can do an Amazon gift card, that's very easy, right? Or a gift card to the local grocery store, whatever the case may be. But some of the more complicated things, like an apparel piece that needs a size or a name or a number on it, with the app doing that collection of that data, once the participant earns the prize, it's in such a perfect, concise form in the report that the coach is able to, or the leader is able to reach out to their vendor, who's ever going to supply that, and give them a good accounting of that and have it done correctly. So it's really the collection of the data that's the difficult part. The ordering of the actual prize is very simple.
Perfect. That was the only question I had.
Great. Well, again, Nate, thanks. It was great to connect again today. Great information, and we look forward to carrying our conversation forward on Scoreboard Coach or Scoreboard Fundraising, and
Excellent.
and share this out with the people. Yeah.
When we get everything updated on the drip for product fundraisers, we'll get that updated as well.
Sounds good. Well, thanks again for your time. And
Thank you.
We look forward to talking further.
Great.